No one was really prepared for what happened that night. The live broadcast, which was initially calm, full of light jokes and Jimin's warm smile, suddenly turned into a moment that the army around the world would never forget. In a matter of seconds, the usual atmosphere turned into full of emotions, warm, sincere, and so human. It all started with one simple thing: the unexpected appearance of Jungkook. Jimin was speaking to the fans in a soft tone. He smiled, chuckled, occasionally looked down as usual when he felt embarrassed or touched by ARMY's comments. There was no sign whatsoever that a big moment was going to happen. Camera steady, cozy atmosphere. Even Jimin himself looked like he was enjoying his own time with the fans, as if the outside world had stopped for a moment. Suddenly, there was movement behind him. In a split second, such a familiar figure appeared from outside the frame. Jungkook, without announcement, without warning, without words. He stepped closer, then, like a reflex that has been ingrained for years, immediately hugged Jimin from behind. The hug was not a made-up hug for the camera. No exaggeration. Not dramatic. That's exactly what makes it feel so real. Jimin was surprised. His shoulders rose slightly, then his body immediately relaxed when he realized who was hugging him. The surprised expression turned into a smile that was hard to hide. A smile that is not only visible on the lips, but also in the eyes. A smile full of security. And that's where millions of ARMY behind the scenes simultaneously felt the same way. Their hearts were melting. The hug lasted only a few seconds, but it felt like time stopped. Jungkook said nothing. He just pressed his chin for a moment, patted Jimin's shoulder gently, then stayed there, as if saying without a word, "I'm here." For many, it may be just a brief hug, but for the ARMY, that moment carried so much meaning. It was the embrace of two best friends who had gone through everything together. Endless rehearsals, global pressures, media spotlight, times of ups and downs, laughter and tears. The embrace of two human beings who grew up together from a young age, who understand each other without even having to speak. Jimin's reaction became the next center of attention. He laughed a little, his face reddened, his eyes sparkled. There is shame, there is happiness, and there is a warmth that is difficult to explain. His hand briefly grasped Jungkook's arm, as if to confirm that the moment was real. ARMY saw something very rarely displayed publicly: unfiltered comfort. Comments on the screen immediately flooded. Virtual crying. Heart emoji. Words like, "I'm crying, this is too sweet, my heart is not strong," filled the chat column. Many admitted that they did not expect to see such an intimate moment live, without cuts, without edits. What makes this moment so emotional is not just the hug, but the sincerity. Jungkook didn't come in for attention. He didn't make a big joke. It doesn't try to dominate the screen. It just came to Jimin, as if its presence is a need, not a content. For the ARMY, who followed their journey from the beginning, the hug felt like a reminder of the past. About two young people who used to rely on each other in a cramped rehearsal room. About Jungkook, who is always looking for Jimin with his eyes. About Jimin, who always gives warmth with small touches. This moment also feels so powerful because it takes place in the middle of a time when BTS and ARMY have gone through a lot: distance, time, change, and long longing. Hugs are like a wordless answer to all pent-up longing. Many ARMY wrote that they cried not because of romanticization, but because of the frankness of the emotions that emanated. Because in the world of entertainment that is full of engineering, they see something that is not made up. The hug felt like home. Jimin then tried to continue his live, but his smile never really disappeared. There are different auras. Warmer. Lighter. Jungkook smiled at the camera before retreating, allowing Jimin to talk to ARMY again. And although Jungkook left the frame, his presence was still felt. ARMY knows this moment will continue to replay, will be analyzed, will be discussed, will be made into short clips, GIFs, and lasting memories. But behind all that, what remains is a feeling. The feeling that their bond is real. The feeling that love in various forms, friendship, trust, togetherness, still exists and lives. The feeling that BTS is not just an idol, but a human being reinforces each other. That night, One hug beat 1,000 words. ARMY, who watched the live broadcast, immediately fell silent. The comment field turned into a sea of emotions. Some wrote, "I'm crying." Others didn't stop sending heart emojis. Others were only able to type, "This is too sweet." Because the moment was not just the interaction of two idols. It was a portrait of a relationship that had been forged by time, a relationship that needed no words to describe. Jungkook and Jimin aren't just group mates. They are two souls who grew up together. From trainees who are still awkward, to become a global icon known to the world. They once stood on the same stage as the world applauded, and also walked side by side when the pressure felt so heavy. The hug felt like a summary of all the years they had spent together. In the broadcast, Jungkook did not immediately speak. He just smiled a little, as if enjoying the comfort of being near Jimin. While Jimin, with a slightly changed voice softer than usual, tried to keep going live. But the ARMY knows the atmosphere is different. There is a warmth that cannot be faked. There is an emotion that cannot be hidden. Many refer to this moment as a rare moment, not because Jungkook and Jimin are rarely close, but because this kind of closeness, which is so sincere and unfiltered, is rarely shown spontaneously in front of the camera. In the midst of an entertainment world full of scripts and calculations, the hug feels so human, so real. To Jimin, the hug seemed like a reinforcement. It's a reminder that no matter how you feel, you're not alone. To Jungkook, it seemed like a simple way of saying, "I'm here, Hyung." Without a word, without explanation, without the need for a big confession. ARMY then recalled many past moments. Jungkook's gaze when Jimin performed, Jimin's small smile when Jungkook spoke, their habit of looking for each other in the crowd. All those little pieces now feel more meaningful after the hug at the live. As if the moment tied all the memories together. What makes this moment even more touching is its simplicity. No special effects. There is no big stage. Only two best friends, two brothers, two BTS members share space and feelings. The camera is just a witness, not the center of attention. After the hug ended, Jungkook had a little laugh, while Jimin turned his head and looked at him with a warm expression. A look that seemed to say, "You have always been like this." And Jungkook, in his own way, replied with an innocent smile that always manages to melt anyone's heart. The ARMY realized one important thing that night. BTS may be known for their music, achievements, and global influence. But the reason why BTS is so loved is because of moments like this. A moment in which they are not just idols, but human beings who strengthen each other. Jungkook's embrace of Jimin wasn't about sensation. It's not about viral. It was about connection, about feeling safe, about friendships that aren't shaken by time, distance, or industry pressure. About love in its purest form, love as support, as presence, as togetherness. When that live ended, one thing was left in ARMY's heart, a sense of warmth that was hard to describe. Many rewatched, slowed down the video, caught small details, the way Jungkook hugged, the way Jimin smiled, the way the atmosphere changed. Because that moment is too precious to just forget. Among all the world's highlights, hectic schedules, and huge expectations, Jungkook and Jimin remind us of one simple thing, that behind all the glitter, a genuine relationship remains their greatest strength. And that night, through one sweet hug on the live broadcast, BTS once again proved why they are not just a music group, but a family. For ARMY, the moment was not just a spectacle, it was a memory that will live on, play over and over again, and always manage to make the heart tremble.